Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Kathopanishad Prathama Adhyayam Prathama Valli Mantra 7. Vaishvanara pravishattatidir brahmano gruhan tasyaitam shanti kurvanti haravaisvasvatodakam. Just in verse. Entered a Brahmin unto the abode of death, filled with fire for quest. Master of the place being away, refused he to enter despite the request. Water offered, when again was declared a custom upon receiving guests. Appraised was Yama of the status of the guest. Intercession of the Lord of the palace reminded need for fulfillment of the suggested. Now let us look at the gist of the mantra. The background of the mantra, the context of happening now follows this way. Nachiketas entered the abode of Yama when he was away on his routine visits in fulfilling his assigned duties. Nachiketas refused to drink even a drop of water offered to him by Yama's men at call, and starved for 3 days and nights, taking a vow that he would meet Yama at any cost, and then only he would accept anything. Now the men at call in Yamaloka, they appraised Yama of this and reminded Yama that an athithi is supposed to be received in a proper way, and it is a practice to offer him water as argyam, etc. Now let's go into the brief explanation. The followers of the text of the Upanishads are left to their own imagination and conclusion about the way in which Nachiketas arrived at the doorsteps of Yamaloka. Yamaloka is believed to be a plane upper to the world, and one can reach only in Sukshma Rupa on leaving the body on the earth. Also that we noticed that he chose to starve for 3 days and 3 nights. Does it have any meaning? How did he arrive at Bhuloka? Arrive at Yamaloka from Bhuloka? All these are left to the probe and conclusion of one's own imagination. So let us describe the happenings. The mantra speaks about the gesture to be shown to a guest while being received. But Nachiketas declined the offer in the absence of Yama, whom he wanted to report to. He remained fasting and declining any such offers. This doesn't speak becoming of a traditional way of hosting. So upon arrival of Vaivasvatha, Yama addressed like that. The courtiers apprised of the status, stating that a brahmachari seems to be well versed on Vedas, has entered as holy fire, Vaishvanara, and suggested to him that Yama should instantly offer water to Nachiketas, a usual way of receiving a guest. That includes offering of water for foot wash, argyam, and achamaniyam for drinking udakam, the purified drinking water. Get him seated. This takes the guest to a well-composed status upon entering. Here the mantra addresses Nachiketas, adorning the form of a Vaishvanara. Vaishvanara is a name for Agni, and Yama is addressed as Vaivasvatar. So now let us try to understand these two terms. Vaishvanara, when referred to Nachiketas, we are led to understand that just as Agni carries all its oblations to the respective devatas, Nachiketas must have been offered to the oblations, or Yama is addressed as Vaivasvatar. So again, Vaivasvatar is another way of addressing Agni. So can we say that the acceptor of the offerings in the form of Vaishvanara Agni? So this is a simple probe into the way that Nachiketas entered Yamaloka. Now let us go to the 8th mantra. Asha pratikshe sankatam sunritam cha ishtapurte putra pashum cha sarvani etat vrinte purushasya alpamedyaso yasya nashnan asati Brahman grihan. Just in verse, loses he in entirety the effects of rituals of purity and the results of virtuous payoff of piety. Rendered and spared was he of his dear and near ones, belongings and possessions and property, in whose house a Brahman guest stayed with nil satiety. Gist of the mantra. Now, a Brahman athithi, without being fed or offered, means the house owner, he will lose all the fruits of his worships, good deeds, belongings, and possessions entirely. He is certain to lose the fruits of his desires, the goods earned through association with nobles, the fruits of utterances of auspicious words that would fetch him punya, the results and the yields of the sacrificial yajnas, and the services extended to the co-living beings. The end result would be the destruction of his domesticated animals and offsprings also. This is the gist. So now let us look at the brief explanation. The mantra highlights the negative effects of a grihastha who could not bestow attention on a guest who called on his house, either deliberately or incidentally or even accidentally. This lapse on the part of grihastha warrants a corrective action in any possible manner. Yamadharma Raja is known for observing all dharmic values, and he is addressed as Dharmaraja. So any such lapse observable on the part of the administrator attracts a critical view. A host of such nature is said to have alpa buddhi, a menial mindedness. Such an act of negligence attracts erosion of all good values and punyas earned by him. An athithi is an uncalled for and unappointed caller to one's house, and he is no way connected to the family. But it's customary in family households that a grihastha waits for such a caller in his house before the family itself could settle down for the turn of having food. Also, it is customary to offer water to a guest called on with Adhyayam, Padhyam, Achamaniyam. And these are the relative activities, how the guest has to be received in a family household. All these formalities were being observed in our traditional familyhood. The transportation system was not so improved then, so people took to travel only on foot. So they needed rest and recuperation while on travel, and a feed from the householder on the passage and passing by. Settlements was needed. These are restricted only to texts and stories nowadays.